Do you remember that oak tree that I airlaid and planted? Well, unfortunately, it didn't make it. Went away on holiday, and it was a really dry spell. And I've left this plant outside, which means that it just, yeah, didn't have enough moisture to survive that harsh summer week that I was away for. So unfortunately, yeah, it was a success, but I'm gonna have to now um, concede to the dry weather. We've got another one for the books, another dead plant. This is my ficus bonsai. Just chucked it in the bin. But this one, sadly, I don't know what went wrong with this. It was in the plastic cloche, and I think what happened was that it got way too hot in there, and sadly, plant didn't make it. But it got really well rooted in the time that it was in there. But fortunately, gotta go. And another one bites the dust. This is actually one of the newest plants in my collection. This is the hypostas that I got when I was doing my celebrating 5k subscribers video. Look at it. This thing has wilted, it's dry, and unfortunately it's gone. So stayed without water for a little bit too long and has completely wilted and dried. What a shame. What a shame. So once again, on plants that haven't made it, this was once my orchid. I think it was just a standard one. I'm not really too sure what species it was, but this is usually the case. I go away for a couple of weeks and boom, plants die. So this one is got, oh look at that, the other leaf just fell off in my hands. How crazy. There is probably a way to save this, but at this point I just can't really be bothered. Let me bring you in for a closer look. This in plastic wrap just to sort of preserve that humidity. It does feel like this is still a little bit moist, but however, this whole thing has just rotted off and died. Although this does look like a potential new leaf. I think this one has come to its end of its journey with me. Sadly, another one to add to the list. This is my philodendron emeraldescence. I've just got back from holiday, and for whatever reason, it has decided to drop pretty much every single one of its leaves. This is what is left of the plant. It looks like it was trying to push out a new leaf, but there's still some green in it, so I'm going to try to save it. But by the looks of it and how brown it has gotten, I don't know if it will be successful at all, but we'll give it a go. But I'll add it to this list, and if I am able to save it, then I can then rescind its entry to the dead plants list. But yeah, philodendron emeraldescence, sadly one I was really looking forward to growing. I don't know if you've seen Houseplanty Goodness. He has an amazing specimen of this, and I was hoping that this would follow suit. Unfortunately, it didn't. Just kind of sad. An unexpected end for this plant, and hopefully the last one in this series for this year. I was preparing to share this plant's journey with you all. I was documenting it from seed to now, but unfortunately it just didn't make it. I felt really invested in this plant, and you know what, there was a time when I was excited to show you all. But let me show you the journey from the start till now. So I've just finished tucking into these lychees. I've got the seeds left over, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it in some water just for a few hours, and then what we're going to do is going to wrap it in some tissue, put it somewhere dark and warm and dry until we can see some roots growing from the bottom, and then we'll put them up. Alright, stay tuned for the journey. So I've already wet the tissue using the same water. Now I'm just going to place my lychee seeds on the paper towel. Don't know if all of this is quite a small one. I'm not sure if that one's going to grow. Now that that's done, I'm going to fold it over just like that. And now I've got it in this food bag. I'm then going to put it in a cupboard where it's nice and dark and warm. And then we'll come and check on it in about 2 weeks time. I literally just ran in here because I completely forgot about these seeds. Oh my days. Okay. So these are my lychee seeds. I started, I put these away to germinate a couple of weeks ago now, maybe 2 weeks, and I completely forgot about them. But look at that. You can already see the roots bursting out of the pot. Can you see that? There was another one somewhere. Anyway, let's open it up. Let's see what we're working with. Wow. Okay. Ooh, this one is no good, but the others, yeah, all of them have sprouted, to be fair. Even this one down here with a bit of rot, they've all sprouted. So let's get this in some soil. I'm doing this with one hand, so you're gonna have to bear with me. So this is the soil. It's a mix of potting soil and sand, just for that aeration. What I'm gonna do is fill this pot up with soil. I'll use my hands because it's a bit easier. So I get it about halfway, and I'll place the seeds with the root side down. So here's an example of the seed. This is the root where it's a little bit fuzzy, and this up here will be the leaves. You can see the little leaves forming at the top there as well. So we'll just place it so that the roots are facing downwards and the stems up. And then we will backfill. That's that. You can see some of them are poking their little heads out, but as they grow, they'll push through the soil. I'm then gonna cover this back up with its bag just to maintain that humidity, and just leave it for a while until all of those shoots emerge out of the soil. Here we are. This is the lychee tree. It's not much to look at. It is bare, it is crispy. This one still has a little bit of life in it, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. There are some other stems. For example, there's this one, and there's this one over here. I think there's another one that was trying to poke his head out of the soil. Just here, you can kind of see that. So they all sprouted, but unfortunately, none of them have made it. Now, I think what happened was I had a plastic bag over this just to keep the humidity as high as possible. And that was on there for a while, and they seemed to be doing okay, but they started to push through that bag and they were starting to bend and curl. And I thought, you know what? They look like, if I had any other plant that was this size, I was like, yeah, I'll take it out. It's ready to go, right? That would be my thinking. So I took it out, and I kid you not, it was like a day or two, and this one just completely wilted. Look at that, it completely wilted. This one here hung in there for a little bit, but ultimately I don't think it's possible to save these plants. I'm gonna have to accept defeat here. I've been trying to water them, keep the soil nice and moist, and all that's done is encourage fungus gnats. So I've given up on it, and I think it's given up on me. So the last one on plants that didn't make it, RIP to the lychee plant. But hey, this happens. This is part of the game. We live, we learn, and we grow. These are just some of the plants that haven't made it this year. Some of them I was really looking forward to, especially those bonsai, that oak tree. I was really looking forward to growing that out and seeing what could come out of that. The other bonsai, the Ficus Audrey, I was really looking forward to that. I thought that looked amazing. It was like a nice, cute little miniature thing that I could work on, but unfortunately we are where we are and we have lost them. But that's not gonna knock my motivation to carry on and to keep pushing this plant hobby forward. And of course, how could I forget, there was also the avocado bonsai, the biggest loss for this channel. As I said, this plant was quite popular on my channel. It got quite a lot of views, so you guys definitely seem to love it, but unfortunately it just kicked the bucket. Not sure why. I think it was I wanted to say it's a combination of dehydration, because I went away and when I came back it just sort of didn't bounce back. But I have a feeling that there was something more going on there, because it started showing signs, and when I really think about it, there was signs that it was declining. Because I remember I took it off from my windowsill and I put it in my grow tent because it started to drop leaves. Then it started to kind of bounce back, and yeah, I put it back out where it was before, where it was thriving, and it just didn't work. That plus going on holiday and leaving it without water for a little while, that compounded and just meant that the plant couldn't take it anymore, and it just didn't make it. So that was the biggest loss of the year, and there were some exciting prospects in the works as well. But you know, we are where we are, and we're going to start again next year. I am still determined to make a great bonsai. I don't know how, I don't know where.
I've started a couple of things, a couple of projects I've got in mind. I'm looking at some plants that I'm hoping to turn into a great bonsai. I'm not experienced in doing it. I'm just doing it based off of my passion and something that I want to do. Been following a couple of channels just to sort of learn and develop my skills. If you want to see that, stick with me in 2024. I'll see you there. And as always, keep planting.